A couple of days ago, I was talking about this graph that was talking about unpaid labor within the home with males versus females. And there were no African countries on this particular list. And it made the African ladies want to speak up. So I got a story time from a woman, and I got some of the comments from the post. So stay tuned. Let's talk about it. I want to start out with this comment from Emma. Men create the feminists of today and tomorrow. It's fascinating. They're doing an amazing job. And I wanted to use this one first because the inequalities that are seen within the home makes women want to fight back, and is making women not want to be wives and mothers anymore because they know from growing up in these homes and in these cultures that it will be unequal, and they will be the servants of the home. And some women are saying, get someone else to do it. Now I want to get into this story from this woman. Her parents are Nigerian, but she was raised here in America, still with the same customs. She says she wants to talk about watching her parents grow up and how she was taught to treat a man. I'm like, I bet. Let's talk about it. She says, so basically, ever since I was a child, my mother drilled into my head I need to cook, clean, and present myself well for my imaginary husband that I don't even have at the age of 10. Older African women will never admit this, but they worship men because they are hyper religious and worship their man God. Being submissive, taking care of the head of household, they see it as a way of serving God more and getting closer to God. So they run and chase after a man because they see men as a way to validate their existence. My mother does not believe in having hobbies. She doesn't see any value outside of cooking and cleaning. She will cook and stand on her feet for hours for her husband to not even put a new trash bag after taking out the trash, or leaves dead bugs on the ground after killing it and expecting my mom to pick up after him. She said, I watched my mom work 12 to 16-hour shifts and come back home to cook, clean, and take care of her husband while the man does absolutely nothing. My dad was not able to keep a job. He's been unemployed more than he's been working. Even so, he will sit on the couch and watch TV, not even lifting a finger to help my mom after coming back from a 12 to 16-hour shift. My mom is literally either at work or in the kitchen. She basically lives there. And because I was a woman, I had to help my mom in the kitchen a lot. One time I asked my mother why my dad doesn't help us clean up after cooking. She literally screamed at me and said, don't ask me that. He's not supposed to do that. He's a man. Watch, which till this day, I don't understand what that means. He refused to fix broken appliances in the home. One time, the kitchen sink was clogged, and my dad was furious after my mom asked him to fix it. He refused to do anything, and he said she needs to call someone to fix it. He said that after my mom was cooking in the kitchen for hours to make him a meal. So I had to figure out how to unclog it. Or when the lights turned off in the house, my dad had to go to the garage to turn it back on. He literally screamed and said, we need a man in this house. I can't be doing all of this. I guess he doesn't consider himself a man. She says, even when it was snowing, I had to go to work and needed help melting the ice off my car. My dad was the only one home. I asked if he could help me get some hot water from my car, and he started yelling at me and said, so you can't endure, while he was in his room watching TV being unemployed. African men have big egos because they know the majority of African women are willing to cook, clean, and submit their lives for them. That is an expectation. They have been getting away with cheating, misogyny, mistreating women, and abusing women because they know they will stay. They use religion as an excuse to deal with it and not divorce because it's considered a sin. So men use this as a power move to control and dominate them. And it trickles down to the children. My father expects me to cook and clean for him while my mother is at work, which I refuse. He throws misogynistic remarks at me like saying, what do you know? You're a woman, or you need to be cooking for me. You're a woman. It's wired into men's head to see women as cooking, cleaning, and baby making machines. And this is where she let me know that her family is Nigerian. She's first generation American. I was like, cool, I'm going to do this so that the other African ladies in my community can share their experiences. So y'all feel free to chime in if you want to. She said, yes, please do. It's sad how it's only my generation who is starting to separate themselves from this ideology. And we're getting resistance and pushback from our parents and grandparents, knowing this is harming our mental health and taking away our peace. For reference, I'm 25 and my parents are in their 60s. I'm so glad that women are pushing back against this narrative. Now I'll segue into this. This person says, misogynist society says marry a man just like your father. And she's like, me? No. Some people see their dads as an example of what not to marry or who not to be with because some people's parents model terrible and unhealthy relationships. Women are tired of being seen as just servants. The Princess Brat says, I'm Nigerian. My mom would literally make me stop playing or watch TV to be in the kitchen learning to cook. That started around fourth grade. According to her, girls needed to learn this. I was also doing laundry and playing babysitter or nanny to my siblings, all because I'm the oldest girl. I'm not the oldest child. By high school, Thanksgiving was exclusively my sister and I's responsibility. I started putting my foot down more in high school when it came to babying my siblings. The difference in our upbringing is reflected in our personalities, but that's a different conversation. Fancy Being Awesome says, Gal, I felt this to my bone. And then the Princess Brat says, sorry, sis, I would never do this to my child if I have one. We would also be yelled at the whole time for food not being done quick enough or not cleaning up as we cook. I'm so glad I can see what was wrong with that. Jock says, I'm from Tanzania. At home, my father does less than 10 minutes of chores, like opening doors in the morning and closing them in the evening. Okay. And my brother, a 30-year-old NEET, not in employment, education, or training, does absolutely nothing at home. He has no job and doesn't want to work. My mother and I spent the whole weekend and national holiday cleaning the whole house. And I'm planning to not return home for the holidays or visits when I move out. I am 4B and child free as well because my mother is basically a married single mother at home, and I feel like my father was his first. I feel like my father was his first child, despite their 8-year differences with him being older than her. I have already told my parents that I wish I was born a boy to avoid these chores and others, like I will never marry or have children because it's expensive and not a necessity for survival. But the true reason is I can already picture that life for my mom, and it's a no for me. God is Good TV says if Africa is not represented, it's because women do 24 out of 24 hours of unpaid work. Coming from Congo, my country, and I have been advocating this even if I'm living in the USA, it hurt my heart a lot. And my younger sisters are products of my fight against this unpaid work. And Just Joe says, I love that this channel brings women from all over the world together. I really do try to. I want women to be able to tell their stories. So jump in the comments and let me know what you think about this. Now y'all need to see this video. This man is a Greek man and he's married to a Nigerian woman. And he goes in there and he's talking to her, and y'all just got to see this interaction. I thought it was hilarious. It was very timely that I was sent this this video. It definitely matches of sorts, or it will at least get you a chuckle or give you a chuckle.
Nigerian guys, I'm gonna use your Niger poetry against you. Check this out. Baby, what we eat?
This is what you wanted to ask me.
Where is my dinner, woman?
Must we talk about food every day as if we work in a restaurant?
Where's my dinner? You're playing with the tail of a lion. You better respect yourself.
Corrupting you. CBC trouble. CBC trouble. You're great. You're great. Let me tell you something. Come here. No matter how tall a plant grows, it can still be cut down and used for soup.
This comment right here reflected me laughing as well, talking about no matter how tall a plant grows, it can always be cut down and made into soup. And then this part where she says, who's been corrupting you, definitely got me a chuckle. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed that. And definitely go ahead and give me any of your stories if you want to share. All right, join the conversation. Let me know what you want to talk about. If you have any comments about the labor in your household, how you were raised, if you were a girl and your brothers got to sit around and do nothing, your daddy got to sit around and do nothing, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.